Matthew Oliver here from House of Oliver, and I have the one and only Tracy Mendonsa.
Hello.
Mendonsa. And so, I recently did spent some time with Kirk Euler, who is our Board of Supervisor of Placer County and has gone on live with me quite a few times, talking about things going on in the world, which I know a lot about wine. That was the end of that statement.
No argument here.
But, in one of the topics that was brought up, it is the city of Roseville, city council, and in my district, you are running.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
So this is our first district-based election. So in 2018 and then in 2019, afterwards, we've moved to a district-based
Yeah, because you could vote for
representation.
anybody in there, but now I can only vote for my district.
Right. So in 2018 was the last election Roseville had where it was still at large. So
Yeah.
people could vote across the city.
Anywhere.
In this election, we've got District 1, which you live in, which I'm running in. We have District 3 and District 5.
Do you actually run? When you're running, do you run? Is there any actual running?
I'm trying to get my COVID weight off.
Oh, yeah. You should be running.
I have been running since about June.
Oh,
The thinking part is over, and now it's yard signs, it's running precincts, it's getting everything you can. Wait, 19 days to election day, if you can believe it. It has gone by. I mean,
So
it's been
fast.
quick. Yeah, it's been
So
quick.
we were putting yard signs out for our neighbors who wanted to do trick or treating.
I saw those.
Yeah, and I was going door to door putting these signs out. I only had to do. Right now we've done about 150 signs. I couldn't imagine running for an actual office and putting out thousands of signs.
It's crazy. And the nice thing about the signs you're putting out is they're going in nice, manicured, watered lawns. There are areas of our city that haven't seen water in months.
Yeah.
And the stakes are, like pasta size. You can't drive those things
Yeah,
in.
I love
So
it.
in the back of my car, it looks like I'm a serial killer. I've got a yard stake, a hammer, I've got all these different tools, and then yard signs and wire.
So you know what a serial killer needs in the back of their car.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me a little bit. I don't know you that well. We've met a few times because you're in the industry. We're in the industry.
I spent a lot of time at your restaurant, but you're always running around making everybody happy. So.
Oh, well, and I've seen you a few times at the restaurant, which
Yes.
is why I like him. I might be voting for you just because you have, I didn't say you bought my vote.
My wife likes you because, to quote her, my wine glass never gets low enough where I have to wave anybody down.
I
I'm like,
love that. I love that. Well, I appreciate it, one, and I've said this because let's take a different race that's going on. There's Tom McClintock is running. I've never met Tom McClintock.
You hear that, Tom?
His opposition, quite often, not this time around, but last time around, had come into the restaurant, had come by our church, had been very out there. Now, maybe had some belief systems I wasn't in agreement with, but I'll tell you what, when it came to hustle, man, that girl hustled. And so I care about this. I want personal connection. Now, your opposition, which there is somebody running against you.
Yes.
Okay. They haven't come in the restaurant. I haven't met them. But I met you. You reached out. So here we are talking about it. So tell me, first, I know you from the biz. Tell people what you do.
So I have a barbecue catering business here in Roseville, T-Bones Barbecue.
It's a way to a man's heart. It's through barbecue.
You can solve all problems with barbecue and wine.
So let's ask a big question, though, because, we do ribs at House of Oliver. We slow smoke them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk about some delicious food here while we're talking. It's not even politics, but I guess. We slow smoke our ribs, and we smoke them in the Traeger, and then we finish them off. So our chef has got a very important thing. She doesn't want it falling all off the bone. She wants a little chew, but she also doesn't want people gnawing on the bone.
Right.
So it's that, perfect thing.
So you want a tug.
Just
the right tug.
Just a little bit.
So my company birthed out of us having a competition team. So we've been competing up and down the state since 2004.
With barbecue?
Yeah. We go to all the barbecue circuits, right? So
There's barbecue circuits.
Yeah. When COVID's over next year, I'm going to grab you. We're going to go to a couple of these. Dude, you're going to put on 20 pounds. You're going to be running.
I love it. I'll bring the wine.
The judges, what they look for is they want that little bit of tug.
Yeah.
They don't want to pick it up and have it fall off the bone, which is preferable for a lot of people who don't like to touch things. So if they can just you pick it up and it slides off,
Yeah.
then you basically have pulled pork off the bone, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But some people, who are purists like myself and you, and sounds like your
I am a
staff,
purist.
you like a little bit of tug.
Yeah, you got it.
You got
So now, what's a secret within your barbecue? Because our chef, we make our own barbecue cherry or a cherry barbecue sauce, a cherry barbecue glaze. She puts on them. She won't tell me the recipe. She won't tell me anything about it. It's her secret. It's what finishes them off. Do you have like a secret that every time this is what makes my barbecue stand above?
So I use apple juice. I know a lot of people don't. So
Juice.
I smoke my ribs for anywhere, depending on how big the rack is. If I'm doing baby back or I'm doing beef or I'm doing St. Louis or whatever it is. But every hour, I squirt a little bit of apple juice on there. And what it does is it creates that moisture. But with my rub, I rub them first and then I put them in there. That creates that caramelization. And then I baste them for the last half hour.
We're talking right now politics, but the most important thing is what I'm learning about this apple juice.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean, you can use other juices too. I just use apple juice because it seems more neutral and it's got a little bit of acidity.
Yeah, I love that.
And the other thing that people don't do, which just blows my mind, is they don't pull the blue skin off the back of the racks. And that creates a real rubbery. There's tug and there's rubber. You don't want rubbery.
Nope, that's got to get pulled. But people don't know it.
Right.
And if you're not in the industry, there's somebody listening right now going, the blue skin?
Yeah.
Are these alien ribs? What is going on?
Once you remove that skin, your rib game, I mean, the flavor
instantly goes up.
I mean, because no matter how much smoke, how much heat, how much rub, how much sauce you put on there, nothing's going to permeate that skin.
No, that stuff is that hard.
Yeah,
it is
it's a
alien
barrier.
Skin.
Alien
skin.
Alien
Okay, so
skin.
now what I like about getting back to politics, getting back to the deal here, what's going on is in Roseville, it's not like Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green Party. You're a guy.
Yeah.
Running for it because you care. Tell me what motivated you. I'm going to tell you, and I don't want to. I want you to tell me what motivated you. Because I'm telling you right now, I see how much work goes in. One, the way people treat you. I said one time, I love America. And I got treated like I was some pariah. I mean, it's horrible. So to run for a position, your family, your business, your time, your energy, you're sacrificing all that for a lot of people who aren't going to like you very much. What overcame you? You should have come in and had a drink with me. I would have talked you out of this.
Yeah. What is this water stuff in here? Euler, he gets wine. I get water.
Well, so tell me a little bit, why?
Well, the nice transition from the blue skin to politics. I'll use the skin analogy. You got to have thick skin, first and foremost. But what motivated me to run is I'm a father, I'm a business owner, I'm a resident. Like you said, I'm just a guy.
Yeah.
I want people to vote for me because I'm going to do a good job, but I'm nothing special. I mean, anybody in this community, whether they're volunteering on a board or commission, whether they are stepping up on a nonprofit, whether they're getting involved in their church or their, whatever it is, the first step of serving is to take that first step and put yourself out there. And that's really what I'm doing because, this is historical in Roseville. So we have 2 incumbents that are running in 2 other districts, and they also have opponents who obviously aren't incumbents. But in District 1, the incumbent, who is the current sitting mayor, John Allard, didn't seek a second term. Wow. So myself and my opponent, neither one of us has held office before. So whoever gets elected, we will be the first district elected councilman.
Wow.
Council member, I should say. PC.
You're the first. I mean, that's
huge.
Pretty big.
Yeah, it's big.
But you said something, I don't agree with it. You said you're not something special, and I think you are something special because to take that step, to be willing to risk, and I've seen your reputation. I did a little digging with these fingers. These fingers will do some walk-in, and I did some digging in your reputation and the people who are endorsing you. Just in my field of restaurants, you got Brian Bennett over at Bennett's endorsing. You have Chef Q over at Q1227, which is a great friend of mine who's put out an endorsement for you. I mean, you've got endorsements all over from your district. Yep. They're not just people outside saying, hey, you should vote for this guy. These are people in the district saying you should vote for this guy.
Well, it's something that my wife, if she was here, she would tell you, and anybody in my family, no matter how far down the line they are, I've lived in Roseville for almost 12 years.
Yeah.
Before that we lived in a neighboring city, Rockland, which we won't. I moved to Roseville.
Well, Roseville, and let's just say it for a moment,
great.
Roseville just got like top 50 cities in the nation
It did.
to live.
And we have really good utilities.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
that's great. I mean, there are parts of our state that are dark today. We couldn't have this conversation.
We don't talk about it.
We
We don't talk
that.
about
So I don't want to rub it in. But, I have always said from day one, if you don't support where you live,
Yeah.
then you're not going to have any support from where you live.
Yeah.
So I spread it around. And by no means am I wealthy or well-to-do, but people like you mentioned, like Chef Q and Brian and his family, and I will seek out the independent owners all
Yeah.
day long.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like Chef Q, he's a phenomenal guy. I've known him back in the day in Sacramento.
He
when
does
was
good
at
barbecue
ASR.
as well.
He does good barbecue, and we have different styles. But,
Yeah, you
but,
do.
But he's a great guy, and so is Brian. But the funny thing is, Chef Q his price point's a little higher than Brian, and
Yeah.
your price point is in between the two. And
Yeah.
I'll go to your place if I want a certain meal. If I want something else, I'll go somewhere else. But the point I'm getting at is, I don't care if it costs me a little more.
Yeah.
I will seek out those independent owners, and it's especially important now, even as we're coming out of COVID, as they tell us. But even during the thick of COVID, these are the people that don't have the umbrella of a chain restaurant.
Yeah.
They don't have the umbrella of a stamp name brand nationwide. These people, I mean, they've got mortgages. Sometimes they've got seconds on their house just to keep their restaurants open.
Yeah.
They're taking out personal loans at extremely high interest rates to pay their employees so that they can then support their families. I mean, people don't understand. That's just the food industry. It's other industries too. But when you make a commitment,
Yeah.
much like running for office,
Yeah.
where you're going to serve somebody, you're going to put yourself out there, and you're going to provide a product, you're going to provide a service, or you're going to represent, no matter
Yeah.
what it is. Once you make that commitment, you can't welch on that.
No.
And everybody depends on you making good on that promise, and that's why I'm running, because there is so much on the line right now, not only in District 1, but across the city. We're coming out of a huge pandemic.
That I'm telling you right now, you know what it means to serve people, because that's what you do. You know what it means to put out a good product, because that's what you do. That's your reputation has been built on. What I love about this, though, is for me as a small business owner, is I'm looking for someone who's going to represent those small businesses, not just restaurants, but the nail salons, the gyms, the hair salons,
Auto repair places.
auto repair. I mean, all of these people who didn't have a voice. One of the things that we could all admit, Kirk Euler came in and did, is he gave a voice to small business and to people who were voiceless in Placer County. And I know there are a lot that were worried. They're like, Kirk's going out. He didn't do it on his own. Bonnie Gore has been such an advocate for small business. And you're not just supported by someone like Kirk, you're also supported by Bonnie, someone else that I look up to and esteem and go, thank goodness. And man, I'm really looking forward to having that same level of representation in Roseville. I think Roseville's done a great job.
Yep.
I don't have a negative word to say, but now that we've moved into this change and we have districts, and I know the guy to call, I know the guy who's representing me. This guy's come by, and it's interesting because I do due diligence. I look up your opponent.
Yep.
Have you looked up your opponent? Have you Googled him?
I knew everything I needed to know before I got in the race. I would be a fool not to know, and I'm sure he's done the same for me.
No, I'm sure as well. But his endorsements are not from District 1 Roseville.
No.
He has endorsements, very few, but he does have endorsements from all over Sacramento. And I'm going to tell you what, I've looked back and I have not been happy with the way Sacramento has handled COVID. And I'm glad I haven't been in Sac County.
Yep.
And I haven't been in Sac City during this mess. And he's got some endorsements that I don't want in Roseville. I don't want that. I don't want that thinking in the way that's been handled brought into our city.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, Bonnie Gore, Kirk Euler, Wygant, Holmes, all the people. We are blessed to have such a strong Placer County Supervisor Board. And just like we're blessed to have a great health department here in the county,
Yep.
Our representation across Placer County in all of our cities, from Auburn to Rockland to Lincoln to Roseville. I mean, everybody knows their area. They
Yep.
know who they're representing, and they know there's a collaboration with the county, which Sacramento, I mean, I'm sure that there are electeds on the city council that have a collaboration with the county
Yeah.
of Sacramento.
Yeah.
But I don't know it, so I can't speak to it personally, but I can speak personally to the fact that for every step of the way for all of our cities here in Placer County health and supervisors have been phenomenal.
Yep.
I know from
Yep.
just a Roseville standpoint, they've been phenomenal to work with, and they're great not only working with, but they've been great getting the information out, which is something that really calms the residents.
Absolutely.
And it's important.
So what would one thing, like if you were going to go, man, these are some things I'm running on this year that I want to see happen in Roseville. I mean, I know there's a lot because we're coming out of COVID, but
Right.
if you were to say there's some key things that I'm looking to help accomplish this year for my district.
So I've set a priority of 4 things. Just going into 2021, into the beginning of 2022. First and foremost is economic development. All right, there are businesses that are just starting to reopen who have been shut down numerous times or just decided to sit it out because they couldn't afford, to weather the storm. I have fellow caterers that decided, you know what, as of April 1st, we're just sitting it out until further notice.
Wow.
They couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
These are, small businesses like me that have commercial kitchens that no matter COVID or not, that lease is still due. They have, goods and suppliers and things like that. So economic development first and foremost, and not just for the food industry, for all of us.
Yeah.
And we as a city, through permitting, through making sales licenses, maybe if you have to reduce that. I don't know what that looks like. But, working out a way where a one-size-fits-all, isn't the approach. We need to look at each person, each business, each situation, help them. Because when they're thriving, we're thriving. It's
Yeah.
their tax dollars.
Yeah.
It's the revenue they generate. It's the business they bring. It's a domino effect. So economic development first and foremost. Second of all, safe communities. I mean, we have neighboring cities that struggle with this, and they're having issues with various community problems. So we also have to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
I also want to make sure that our quality of life remains the same, and that flows back into COVID. As businesses choose to leave. Maybe they were choosing to leave. Maybe they accelerated their exit plan a couple years early because of COVID. Whatever it is, we can't deny the fact we're going to lose some businesses out of this. We just are. And we're going to have empty storefronts, and we're going to have vacant lots, and we're going to have areas of opportunity for new business to come in.
Yeah.
But before that, we can't have infrastructure starting to fail. We can't have buildings looking like they're not being maintained. We can't have dead grass and corner areas that
Yeah.
look like they're in disrepair. So quality of life has to be something that we put in the forefront too. And lastly, honest representation. And we've had that throughout Roseville. My campaign slogan is honoring the past, focus on our future. A lot of what Roseville is today is because of our past leadership. It's
Sure.
specific plans.
Sure.
It's the things that our past councils have done
Absolutely.
that have got us here. But now it's the task of this council and councils moving forward, to look at how things have changed.
Yeah.
Where we are in Roseville is not where we were in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, the west side is continuing to be built out. I mean, we're pretty much built out here on the east side, but we still have to focus on businesses, and we have to focus on quality of life, and that's kind of where my 2 main priorities are, because we just don't have the new houses.
Yeah.
We don't have, vacant lots where you're going to have brand new retail or brand new gas stations. So what is going on one side of the city isn't necessarily going on here. So each council representative has to know their area so that they can best represent the needs of the residents and the businesses.
Well, it sounds like you know. It sounds like you've done your due diligence.
I've tried.
So a few days left.
19 days and
What
counting.
do you do from here, from the next 19 days, to get that word out and to solidify? I'm telling you, word on the street's good. There's a lot of momentum for you right now. What do we do to seal that and get this thing done?
First and foremost, if you haven't got your ballot by now, please call the county recorder. You should have gotten it.
Yep.
Voting is going to
I've
be
gotten
extremely
5.
important.
Can't wait to vote for all of them.
I hope you have 5 people in your house.
I don't, but they just kept throwing
Just get
ballots
them
at
in.
me.
All right. Yeah, that's a different interview for a different day. But for right now, A, get out and vote, going to be extremely important. B, fundraising never stops
Yeah.
until election night, and even after that. I'm still trying to reach the voters. I'm still trying to get my message out right up until election day. If you've got the ability, we would love for you to contribute financially. If that's not an option, we still need people to walk around, and we still need people to make phone calls and just tell their family and friends. We had a huge walk last week. We covered, over probably 10 or 11,000 houses.
Wow.
It was huge. It was a great weekend. So our walking
Do you need
game is
any
strong.
Halloween signs? Because I have about 2 left.
I will take one. I will take one because I have no shortage of signs in the back of my car.
Yeah, you gotta just one more.
Yeah.
Just you can cannibalize my little metal stake and use it if you need to.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's my gift.
And that's a good point, actually. We do still have yard signs. So if you find that you've got a spot in your yard that is missing just a little something and the garden gnome's not doing it, we'd love to put a sign there as well.
If they want to get a sign, if they want to find out, where can they go to do that?
So our website is tracymendonsa.com, TracyMendonsa.com. We're doing real good on
Mickey
Google.
Mouse. Woo. Hey, you were doing well with that. That was well played.
You can just type in Tracy Mendonsa and it should come right up. We're doing pretty good on the search results. So, but right now, that's really the main areas that will help us. And again, just getting out there and voting early. So that we have a result.
Are you sleeping well right now?
I don't know what sleep is. My coffee intake, this is the first time I've actually had water. It didn't have coffee grounds in it. So, but you know what?
Hey, you're a restaurateur. You don't sleep anyway.
Yeah, let's face it, I wasn't sleeping to begin with. But, I'm just on adrenaline. I'm energized.
Yeah.
It's not so much the campaign. And the campaign's energizing me, don't get me wrong. But it's the thought of, after Election Day, being given an opportunity. And like you said earlier, I'm not going to make everybody happy. But my job is not to make everybody happy. My job is to represent the interests of my district and represent the interests of our city. I have to strike that balance. So I hope that people will understand if I do something that they don't like, it's not that I don't like them. It's that, I have to look at the holistic picture, right? But I'm just super excited to have the opportunity to add my name to the list of great people who have served in this city.
That's so good.
And we're coming out of something that we've never seen in Roseville. We've never seen in this state, in this country.
No.
To think about the decisions and the issues that face us come January 1st as a city, as a council member, it's almost like I can't wrap my mind around it because it's an opportunity to have such robust discussions and to come up with such creative solutions. Because by and large, most elections come and go, and you're dealing with the same thing. Budgets, dealing with unions, dealing with all the different mundane stuff that comes with serving one city.
Yeah.
But this time around, you're piling on a whole different set of stuff, and there's no book for it. You can't just go to the manual and be like, we've always done it this way. We'll tweak it a little bit and apply it, and it'll work. No, it's like, dude, we have to come up with a brand new plan, and to be involved in that is awesome.
And this is why, you specifically running, you're not a career politician. You're not somebody who is just trying to put another notch in your belt on your way up to the top. You're somebody who really cares. You've been in our situation. You have kids. You've been a business owner. You've been a part of the community. You're a homeowner. You know what we're going through.
Yep.
So you get to help make decisions that really represent us. And even if there is some frustration, because I don't think, and knowing your reputation, it's not just a pushover. You're not just giving everything, but you're somebody willing to have a conversation.
Right.
People can reach out. You're very, you're local. You're, connectable. It's not like you're trying to hide somewhere. You've been very accessible through this process. And I think that's the difference. And even with your opponent who has not been accessible and been out and been available and I want to have somebody there that I can say, hey, I have a question, and you're connected. And so I'm really, really looking forward to it. Well, we appreciate you.
Thank you
so much for taking the step. I'm glad somebody did. I'm glad it's you.
Well, I was waiting to see if you did, because I was like, if you pull papers, I'm not going to pull papers.
I'm not. Good Lord, I have a 2-year-old at home. I got to take all my time and attention goes to that kid if I've got any extra. But
It's kind of the same deal, though. I mean, you're dealing with the same stresses, the same problems, same lack of sleep. So really, you could have done this.
well, my kid woke up this morning. It was 3:30. He decided he wanted to read a book, so he gets me out of bed and brings me out into our living room and pulls out his ABC book and wants me to read it to him. And you know what you do at 3:30 in the morning?
You read.
You read the ABC book.
That's awesome. The fact that he wanted to get up and read.
Oh, yeah, well, I want him to do that when he turns 16. Just don't get me out of bed. Leave me alone. You go and read. But, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I put this out there because other people had said, well, Matt, are you going to be open to connecting with all the different sides and all the different opponents that are wanting to run? Absolutely. I didn't really know you going into this. I wanted to get to know you. In fact, we had even talked, and I said, I'm not throwing an endorsement behind anybody until I get a chance to know what's out there.
And I wouldn't take it until we talked.
I
You and
appreciate
I
that.
have talked so much at the restaurant level.
Yeah.
But I mean, I take my food seriously. So, of course, I was going to make sure that I knew who the owner was because, that's a
appreciate
good
that.
way to get good food.
Yeah.
But we never really brought up politics because you don't want somebody to spit in your food. Yeah. So I want to make sure that we're going to have that simpatico.
Yeah.
And now that I realize, okay, I can be frank with you and not have my food compromised,
Well,
I feel better about this.
Our chef's also watching.
Hopefully
so
your
you never
chef
know.
is...
Well, what I love is, it was comforting, even, knowing you were running and seeing my friends in the industry all throw their support, but they knew you.
Yeah.
And they knew you in a better relationship than I did. Now, I look forward to, especially, ever hopeful you're going to win and representing our district, our community, to get to know you better and know you as a leader, which I know that you are. So you can get more information. We'll have some links in our comments section. Like it, share it, spread the word. Thank you so much, sir. And we will hopefully be able to circle back around after Election Day and be able to share some good news.
Look forward to it.
Cheers.
Thank you.